Hello everyone, my name is Webweaver, and don't worry, this is not an actual gameplay League of Legends video. We're not doing that yet. Ominous kitchen nightmares playing in the background. Sorry, I'm too lazy to edit. This video, sorry, is not going to be a video about the gameplay of League of Legends. Well, I mean, it'll involve it, but we're not going to actually, live play League of Legends yet. Don't worry about that. This is going to be a video talking about the recent changes to League of Legends. Now, there are a couple things I want to get into just before we jump into the video itself, which is one, I am doing this mostly for fun because I am under no delusions about the size of my channel. This is not going to pick up. This is not going to be a, wow, hit video, wow, banger video. This is just going to be something for my normal audience to hear me rant about and be like, ooh, absolute cinema Webweaver content. Clapping headless Achithus gif or whatever it's called. Sorry, fake Limbus fan. Fake Limbus fan. That is my favorite, thing, though. I love that thing. Listen, Fluid Sac is good, but, it's actually just one of my favorite creature designs in the series. But anyways, let's just get into it. So, so that's the thing, right? As I don't expect this video to actually mean anything. It's just like, hey, this is something dumb, and I'm going to rant about it for however long this video is. So, with that being said, what's happening with League of Legends, all right? Well, first we have to take a little bit of a history lesson, okay? A little bit of a history lesson all the way back to when I started playing League of Legends. When I started playing League of Legends, there was a system called the history is being... I'm the Flash in the Flashpoint. The history, the false history is being overwritten in my mind. Influence points. See, we had RP here, riot points. This is influence points. Also, I don't accept League of Legends friend requests, so don't even try it. I do accept Limbus friend requests though, so go ahead. But basically, we used to have RP and IP, and you would earn RP by buying it, and you would earn IP influence points by playing the game. And you'd earn about, I don't know, 130 for a loss, maybe 200 for a win. I don't really remember. It's been a long time, right? But you would earn influence points for playing the game, and you had an account level, right? You can see right here, I'm level 225. This used to cap at 30. And the reason why it did that is originally, in League of Legends, you were a summoner, right? That was the fantasy, right? It was a fighting tournament. You were a summoner, and your summoner started at level 1, and you had spells. You had summoner spells, right? And you started off with, what was it, Ghost Clarity or something? And you basically, as you leveled up, it says summoner level 1, and you got smite at level 3, and, ignite at level 9 or whatever. I remember you getting clarity really early. I guess level 6 is really early, right? But basically, your summoner would level up, and there would also be something that's not in the game anymore, but we could go to, it's analogous with runes, right? Because runes are kind of like a skill tree, is you actually had, a Borderlands-style skill tree, where it was 3 skill trees, and you leveled up, and then this was, your summoner, right? And it was providing bonuses to the champions that you controlled. So you could basically create a skill tree page, and rune pages were something different. This is a rune page in modern League of Legends, but rune pages were something different. And you basically, you took your basic shitty abilities, and then you would, go down the skill tree, and then at the very bottom, there was, the 3 really, really powerful abilities, and you could only pick one, and then you could go down halfway on another skill tree and get, a milestone ability in the middle. Now, you have a keystone, which determines your primary, and then you have, whatever the secondary is called, and you get, 2 runes on another tree. This is a completely different system than it used to be, right? This is something that it completely... It used to be completely different, it's kind of the same thing, right? You get 2 runes from your secondary, and you get all the runes from your primary, but it used to be you would literally input skill points, and it was once you hit a certain skill point threshold, you could go down to the next skill page, and these skills were better, right? and it was like incremental upgrade, incremental upgrade, incremental upgrade, and then you got to the end, and then at the middle point there was like a milestone. It was like, this is a good ability, right? And then you got to the end and it was like, this is a really good ability, right? Like, this is a really strong ability. And then you could go like halfway down on the secondary tree, right? So this is the part. This is the part, right? Where uh rune pages were the rune page functions as what the skill tree used to function as, but rune pages were still a thing and different. They were like this sheet of paper that had a bunch of circular sockets, and you could put runes into each socket, right? You could put runes in each socket, and these runes, you would buy these runes from the shop. You'd buy these runes from the store, right? So you'd go to like, I don't, was it accessories? I don't really know what it was. I think since rune pages are here, it would probably be somewhere in accessories, right? But you would go here and you would buy runes, and runes cost a cheap amount of RP or an expensive amount of influence points, right? So it was RP IP. And influence points was literally like your summoner's influence on Summoner's Rift, right? Or like the League of Legends, right? That was your summoner's influence, how influential you are. You could cash in your influence for that sort of thing. And so but also what you used influence points for was getting champions. Now, obviously we're just gonna have to go over here, and I'll just go like alphabetical here, right? So in order to unlock the ability to play a champion, you had to use your influence points, or you had to spend IRL money to get riot points. And the champions, I wish I could show you this, but unfortunately I have all the champions unlocked, even though I'm never going to play most of them. That's not true. I'll play them all once eventually, and I have played most of them at least once, but um basically what you would do is there were some champions, like early champions who were like the first added to the game. They'd be like 450, right? And then there would be like slightly newer champions but still old that were like 1350, all in influence points. And then they'd get a little bit more expensive at 3150, and then they would go all the way up to 4,800. And then the newest champions were 6,300. And when a new champion, like brand new character came out, I think there were like something in the 8,000s, and I think League still does that, where it's like when a new champion comes out for the first week, they're like 8,000, and then they go down to 6,300 or 6,300 next, right? So, what kind of happened and why this was a predatory business model back in the day was that you had to buy runes basically for the champion, right? Like, runes were passive bonuses that you had at the beginning of the game. So people who had runes and bought runes, it was literally pay to win. People who had runes could use those runes for champions that, like, utilize those runes the best, and then they had like an objective statistical advantage, right? And everybody always, no matter what character you were playing, you always slot in the 1% crit chance golden rune. You always did that every single time, don't lie. Everybody loved that 1% crit chance. It was so funny. It saved my friend's life once. Had a 1% crit chance, and he got a critical hit that killed his enemy. Totally outskilled, 100% calculated. But it was a janky system, and the reason why it was bad was that basically, like, let's say you wanted to play, let's say you played like Garen, right? Let's say you played Garen. Right, so let's say that you want to play Garen, right? So Garen would have runes associated with his character. That would be like, you probably want health. Maybe you probably don't need health regeneration because of your passive, but you need like health, you need attack damage, you need armor, you need magic resist, all that, right? So you would get those runes for Garen, and you would get them gold, right? So gold runes were really expensive. They were in like the 2,000, 3,000, right? For influence points, am I remembering that correctly? So you would do that to get a Garen rune page, and you'd work really, really hard, because remember, you were only getting like 100 influence points per game. I think maybe even less on a loss. I don't know. That's historical revisionism. But basically, let's say you wanted to then play, I don't know, Ahri, right? You want to play Ahri. Ahri is a mage. And what she wants is ability power. I don't know if they had spell vamp runes, but if they had spell vamp runes, you'd absolutely want spell vamp runes. But you'd want like ability power, you'd want mana regeneration, you'd want mana. Completely different runes from what Garen wants, right? And so you would not only have to grind the 4,800 RP to get Ari, but then you would also have to grind all the runes for Ari, right? And you would have to you'd have to do that, or you'd be in an objective disadvantage. So it makes sense why Riot would come in and they would sort of combine rune pages and skill trees to be what it is today, so that you can have a system where people are not at an inherent disadvantage because they haven't spent 100 hours grinding out a rune page for their a Gul'dan rune page for their favorite champion. Okay, but here's the problem: runes were an IP sink that every player had to engage in. When they took that out and they turned runes into this system, this is where things get a little complicated. Okay. And by the way, if I remember correctly, they gave a an influence point boost to everybody who bought runes and rune pages, because back in the day, you might notice that I have all of the rune pages. I have all 25 rune pages. You don't need 25 rune pages. You really, really don't, because you can swap these freely at any time. And there are even auto buttons. So basically, let's say you only had, the 3 default rune pages, right? I have 5 Briar rune pages because I'm lazy. But let's say you only had the 3 default ones, right? You're going into a game. This is a tank Briar rune page, right? Let's say that you're going in and you're not playing tank Briar. You're playing Lilia or something. Well, no, that's a bad Lilia also uses Conqueror. Let's say you're playing I don't know. This is the wrong page to hit. I don't know. Let's say you want to play Jungle Amumu would also be pretty bad because he also uses Conqueror. I don't know. Pretend there's hey, Evelyn. You're using Dark Harvest. You're using Electrocute, right? Let's say you're playing Evelyn, right? Well, you can just hit a button. You can literally just hit a button, and then it will auto apply Evelyn runes that are commonly used for Evelyn, or recommended for Evelyn's use case scenario, right? And those are right 90% of the time, right? They're completely fine. And most people in the game use the auto rune feature, by the way. Most people in the game do not make their own rune pages. Most people in the game literally just they'll be in champ select, and then they'll pick a champion, and then they'll click on their rune page, and then there will be their normal 3 rune pages, and then there will be 2 auto-generated rune pages, and they'll click one of those. Right? That's just what people normally do. But this rune pages used to be champion unique. They used to be an IP sync, and they used to be something you had to grind for and work for, right? And I'm not saying that used to be the good old days where that was good design. No, this rune page design is much better, and they actually if I remember correctly, they gave you a riot, not a riot point bonus, but an influence point bonus for every rune page that you owned, because you didn't need to own rune pages anymore. They basically invalidated the system of buying rune pages because you just automatically. It was actually a fantastic change. It was probably one of the best changes they ever made to the game, right? So, with that being said, champions were now a lot cheaper. They were they were very, very easy to get because you didn't have to buy runes anymore. And so, what they did was they implemented Blue Essence and the current, ignore the gacha please, the current crafting system. And so here's where it gets bad. Here's where it gets bad. This was the beginning of the end, okay? So back to my level, okay? Level 225, all right? Back in the day, the cap was level 30, okay? And when they implemented this change, this new overhaul of the system, right? What they did was they made it to where the level was now uncapped. You can level forever. And every time you level up, you get a champion capsule. And every time you level up 10 times, so, level 230, 240, 250, 260, right? You would get a glorious champion capsule, okay? So that's important. So what these capsules did was that they were basically like free loot boxes almost. You would crack them open and you would get, ignore the gacha please, you would get a champion shard. Or, yeah, you would get a champion shard, right? You would get a champion shard, and it would be a random champion. And you would be able to either upgrade that champion shard to a permanent for half the price, or you'd be able to disenchant it for a nice chunk of change, right? Pretty decent chunk of change. I don't remember what Briar's sitting at right now. I guess she'd be 4,800, I think. But, I'm not really paying attention. But anyways, would she be sitting at 6,300? That wouldn't really make sense, but anyways, we're getting a little lost in the sauce here. I don't really know why it says 28880, because that doesn't... She's a 4,800 Andy. I guess it's not a half discount. Maybe that was a change that they made recently. But, like, I would not expect her, like, I don't know. I don't know. She says she's 4,800 normally. All right, but anyways, regardless. So, basically, you would get a champion shard. And basically that champion, you could either enchant it for, quote unquote half the price, or you could disenchant it and you could get a nice chunk of blue essence, right? Now here's the problem, is they disabled, because blue essence replaced influence points, right? They disabled your ability to earn blue essence in any other way, except for like completing like daily challenges or whatever. That you could get blue essence through that. But playing a game would not give you blue essence anymore. A lot of people who play League of Legends these days don't know that you used to get, like, blue essence. Like, a lot of new players of League of Legends don't realize that you used to get, like, the equivalent of blue essence literally every game. Like, literally every game, win or lose, you would get blue essence. Now, that doesn't happen anymore, because you're getting XP, and then that XP is going into champion capsules, which, if you get lucky, then congratulations, the character you want is now half off. But it's still a predatory system, and it was still really bad. But they introduced another thing as well to kind of sweeten the pot a little bit, right? And that was Hextech chests. Now, Hextech chests were loot boxes. However, like all good gacha games, they would drip feed you Hextech chests. So how it used to work was you used to... Let me just go to Briar real quick. You used to... See how it says season highest grade S rank right there? So how it used to work was you would generate a Hextech chest, I think, was it like every 2 weeks? Or it was like every 2 weeks or every month or something? You'd generate a Hextech chest. And if you got a S minus, or somebody in your party got an S minus or higher, right? S minus or higher. If somebody got an S rank, basically, whether it's minus, plus, or regular, right? If somebody got an S in your party, or you got an S, then everyone in your party would get a Hextech chest from the pool that they generate, right? So it's like every 2 weeks or once a month, I don't remember, right? So you'd get an S rank on a character, and then that character would be marked. And then they can't get another Hextech chest for a little bit, right? So if you played a variety of champions and you got S ranks, then you would be able to get Hextech chests pretty regularly. It was like a pretty mediocre drip feed, right? Like, I've played much more generous gacha games, I've played much more generous free-to-play games, but it was fine. And also, it didn't require you to be good at the game. It required you or one of your friends to be good at the game. And this is a system that was, I mean, it's honestly random. Ignore the gacha, please. It's honestly random, but I did get every ultimate skin for free from this system. As you can see, these are duplicates. I have, well, back in the day. I don't have the new one, the newest one. I don't remember what the newest one is. It's like it's Ezreal, right? Ignore the gacha. Yeah, I don't have the new ones, but like the old ones I have, and I got them all for free. Now these skins are $30. It's a lot of money, but you could get them for free from the gacha, and it was really cool. And obviously, I've gotten them for free from the gacha, and I've also gotten duplicates, so I can't really complain. Now, Riot, like like a year ago, said that they didn't like this system because they felt that it was too good for the player and too negative for Riot, right? So that they were looking to rework the Hextech chess system. And well, we're going to get to that in a second, but basically, League of Legends for a long time was sitting at this kind of like shitty place where you could earn skins for free, but like it was a random skin, so it like could be for a character that you don't play. Like I don't play Misfortune. I play Lux, but I don't play Misfortune. I don't play Udyr. I don't play Graves. I do want to get this Senna skin though. I do really like this Senna skin. It's very pretty. But I think if I get another skin shard, which about that, if I do get another skin shard, I keep my ultimate dupes, but if I get another skin shard, I'll probably re-roll it for a skin permanent. But regardless, that's a little bit off topic. That's a little bit of a derailment, okay? So, League of Legends was at this kind of like uneasy place for a little bit where champions were a lot harder to get because you had to level up and then go through the champion capsule system, which was really, really bad. Like, it was really, really bad. It was not good at all, okay? It was pretty dog shit. Now, I don't really care, because I own all the champions, and the only time that I don't own all the champions is when the new champion comes out, and then I wait, like, a week, and then I buy them at 6,300 a blue essence, if I want to. But, like, I already own all the champions, so I don't care, right? It doesn't really matter to me. And I found my champion pool. I found playing the champions that I like to play, okay? So, it doesn't really matter to me. But League of Legends was at this sort of like mediocre, kind of shitty place for a long time. The Blue Essence system has always been bad. Hello? Trying to cook here, and my dog is trying to bark at the invading enemy outside of our window. But anyways, so League was at this mediocre. It was at this mediocre place. Blue Essence has always been bad. I will always maintain that Blue Essence is a worse system than Influence Points, 100, because I played both, and I've been with Blue Essence for longer. And I still think that it's a bad change. But it doesn't affect me at all. However, now Riot has truly jumped the shark because recently they changed how Hextech chests work. And they've done so twice in pretty quick succession. So how did they change how Hextech chests work? As you'll recall, it used to be you get an S rank, you get a Hextech chest, if you have one in your generated pool, right? You have a certain free Hextech chest monthly allowance. Now, Hextech chests, because Riot is bizarre and weird, needed keys. Because, like, the one thing that a gacha game needs is you need another premium thing that you need to open the loot box that you get. Like, most companies just let you open the loot box for free, and even Riot lets you open orbs for free. Absolutely bizarre, unhinged. May God have mercy on your soul. But if you look in, ignore the gacha, please. If you look in my my crafting tab, which used to just be called loot, this Sanctum Mythic Shop bullshit right here, the Mythic Shop used to be a gem item here in your materials, and the Sanctum didn't used to exist. But anyways, in your crafting tab, you see that I got 13 keys and 0 chests. This is how it always was, because you get key fragments, these things. It says play games to earn key fragments over time, which I guess is like technically true, but it's like kind of lying. It's honor, right? So if somebody honors you at the end of a game, and it happens enough, like frequently enough, like let's say you play like 10 games and like you get honors in like 6 or 7 of them, you get like a key fragment, right? It's like not bad, but it's like not like the limiting factor has always been chests, because you will always generate more key fragments playing the game than you will generate chests by playing the game. Even if you play like your main in norms and you get like S rank after S rank after S rank, doesn't really matter, right? So you need a key, you need a chest. Keys have always been overabundance, oversupplied. A lot of people who play this game more than I do have like 100 plus keys, right? You're never going to run out of keys. So what they did is they added the milestone system. And the milestone system recently changed. But how it was, like, I don't know, like a couple patches ago, was that you had basically, you were randomly assigned however many champions this is. I don't really care. I only play Briar, Skarner, and occasionally Rammus. I do play Lilia too, and sometimes Lux. But basically, how it worked was that every champion was assigned a milestone, right? And you played games to earn these milestones. And if you earned enough milestones, you would unlock Hextech chests. And if you completed the initial 12 milestones, then you would get a Masterwork Hextech chest, right? Now, this system was abysmal dog shit because it meant that you have to go from getting an S rank on one character to get a Hextech chest. It meant that you had to, because the milestones are grade related, right? So in order to start, you have to get an A minus or higher, and then you have to A minus or higher, and then S minus or higher. It was a little bit different back in the other update. It was like you had to get like 1 B rank and then like 4 C or higher. So you had to play 5 games. So they made it a little bit better now, but as we'll discuss in a second, what the hell is this? So basically you'd have to play, I believe it was like 25 games per champion to finish the milestones. And you had to do 12 milestones, right? And each champion has, sorry, that's the wrong character to look at. Each champion has 4 milestones. And so back in the day, and by back in the day, I mean like literally like 2 patches ago, like a few months ago, right? Like a couple of months ago. Back in the day, you would have to play like 25 games to max out the milestones, and then that would go to here. And then once you got to 12, so, you know, you can do the math. It's a lot of games for one Hextech, for a Masterwork Hextech chest that was dog shit, by the way. They called it like a fancy Masterwork chest. It was awful. I earned that by playing a lot of games on champions that I didn't want to play. It was a miserable experience, and then I got jack and shit from it. I got 2 things from it, and it was those 2 things. So they horribly reworked the system. It was like you get like 5, I think it was like you get like 5 chests, like an act or like a season or whatever, right? Not a season, but like a split. It was like you get like 5 Hextech chests per split, and you had to play like an ungodly amount of games, right? You had to play what, like 75 games, and then you would earn all your chests, and you'd earn the mastery chest. And the thing is, they specifically screwed over people who wanted to just play one trick, or they basically screwed over one tricks, right? They screwed over people who main, because it is so much easier to get the milestones on characters that you haven't gotten the milestones yet than the bonus repeatable, the repeatable bonus milestones, right? Like it's so much easier to get the even back when it was like play 5 games per rank or whatever, it was and here's the thing, the start thing right here didn't count, right? So you had to do the start, and then you got to the milestone, and then you could start unlocking stuff. It was really annoying. It was a horrible system, and people complained about it because it was awful. And Riot was like, how dare you complain about this system, because we're about to make it infinitely worse. So with this new season, I've explained all of the history. In 30 minutes, I've explained all the history that you need to know about the change that Riot just made right now for this patch. That is the most degenerate change I think I've ever seen in a free-to-play game. It is one of the most disgusting, predatory, greedy moves I've ever seen. First of all, every time you go to your loot tab, you have to see the gacha. Every single time. Secondly, look at this shit, man. 400 RP each. This is actually, thank God they made this change. This used to not display a price. After a lot of backlash, it finally displays a price, which thank God for that. But every single time you want to go to your loot tab, which used to just be, like, literally, you just would click this button that says loot, and it would take you there instantly. Now you have to look at the gacha. Now you have to look at the FOMO. Oh, don't you want sexy set? Year of the Snake sexy set? No, 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 no. Anyways, in order to get to your crafting tab, you have to go to here now. Like you have to go through the gacha every single time. There's also a cutscene that plays whenever you go to the first time you go to gacha. There's a cutscene that plays, and it looks like the most mobile game trash you've ever seen in your life, right? And that cutscene refreshes whenever they add a new skin to it. Absolutely degenerate. But then they made the change of all changes. Probably the worst change that I've ever seen, okay? You ready for it? It's very simple. So, milestones. All of it, all of the rewards and the milestones are now gone, and they're converted into Battle Pass EXP. So that means that you don't get Hextech chests anymore. There are no Hextech chests that you can earn in the game for free. I don't think I've ever... Well, and that's the thing that people are complaining about the most right now. And I kind of get it. Like, I do get it. It's a big deal. And I think that it is, like, a horrible change that Riot has made. But they did another thing with Blue Essence, and it was so ridiculous that I thought there's no way that they actually did this. There's no way that they did this. This is the dumbest idea. This is the most new player killing idea that I could ever see in my life, okay? I don't think I can get... This change is so bad, I don't think I can get friends into League of Legends anymore. I got a couple of friends into League of Legends back when Blue Essence was a thing. Like, like 5 or 6 months ago, right? And they can play League of Legends. But if I wanted to get them started in League of Legends today, I don't think I could. That's how hostile this change is. So let's look at the Battle Pass. Let's look at the Fortnite Battle Pass. So this is actually worse than the Fortnite Battle Pass, by the way, but it is emulating the Fortnite Battle Pass. So basically, how it works is it used to be that for a Battle Pass, you would buy the Battle Pass, and it would give you a currency. And then there would be like a little button right here that would take you to the Battle Pass shop. Or there'd be like a button down here that would take you to the Battle Pass shop. So as you would complete the Battle Pass, you'd earn currency. Then you could go to the Battle Pass shop, and you could buy anything that you wanted that was in the Battle Pass, right? So it's like they would have like a big list of rewards. It would look like the store page, right? Like, let me go to the skins here. It would look like this, kind of, but there would be like really big skins that took up like the space of 3 of these. And then there would be like tiny chromas here and there. And if you scrolled all the way to the bottom, it would have stuff like you could buy orbs. You could buy does this Battle Pass even have orbs? I don't even know. But you could buy like... Yeah, you could buy, like, orbs, you could buy, like, chromas, you can buy emotes, you could buy skins. It was just sort of like... Oh, God, we'll get to that in a second. It was, it was a pretty bad system because you actually don't get everything from the Battle Pass because the repeatables were awful, right? You would have to no-life that shit so much to even get close to getting, like... not even half the things from the Battle Pass, like 25% of the Battle Pass. Because they would have, like, these big rewards, right? They would have the, like, big, fancy prestige skin that took up most of the page. And then they would have, like, Hextech gems, which we're not even going to talk... We're not talking about Hextech gems. I refuse. So, they were the original $200 skin, by the way. That's what Hextech chests were. Or Hextech gems. That's what Hextech gems were. They were the original $200 skin, right? But, how it works, how it works now is that the Battle Pass is linear and everyone gets the same rewards. But you can no longer spend, like, the Battle Pass currency on getting orbs, and also the Battle Pass would allow you to buy skin shards and champion shards, I believe. I believe it allowed you to buy champion shards. I know it allowed you to buy skin shards. But for the last traditional Battle Pass that they had, they actually removed the ability to buy skin shards, which was like biggest dick move I've ever seen, because in order to get that currency to buy those skin shards, you have to pay for the Battle Pass. So people were spending their limited Battle Pass currency on gambling with skin shards, and they can't even do that anymore. Absolutely despicable. But basically, it's a linear system, and it has a paid track and a free track, but they make it like one linear line because, like, Riot Games is like pure evil, right? And in the Battle Pass, you now get champion capsules, and you also get Blue Essence, which makes this, by the way, the worst Battle Pass for money ever. This is the worst, like, from a value perspective, this is the shittiest Battle Pass I think they've ever released. Getting Blue Essence in a Battle Pass is a joke. Well, I would say that, or I could say that, if it wasn't for one very simple fact. They removed level up rewards. So how it used to work is when let's say that I was on the last patch and I got to 226, right? I would get a champion capsule. Then I would sit through the gacha loading, which, by the way, the gacha makes this page take longer to load, by the way. It just does. Although, actually, I do remember waiting like 80 years for this thing to load. So maybe they made it load faster just so that you could get to the sanctum properly. But anyways, I'm derailing. I would get a champion capsule and materials. I would crack it open. I would get like a champion, okay? Then, when I got to level 230, I would get a glorious champion capsule. I'd open it. I'd crack it open. I'd get like a permanent and like 3 shards, right? Now, I don't get anything. This number, 225, doesn't mean anything. There's no purpose to being able to level up anymore. Like, literally, this does nothing. They've actually removed all functionality in the game for experience. A summoner experience means nothing. It's literally just how long have you been playing this game. Like, I'm not even joking. And that's also wrong because most of my game time before, like, this year was done when level 30 was the cap, right? So this doesn't even mean anything. This literally is meaningless, right? Like, this literally does not mean anything. It does not give you any benefit. It doesn't give you anything. This is completely meaningless, okay? The experience doesn't mean anything. The only way that you can get blue essence now in League of Legends, and they announced changes, by the way. I saw the changes. And this is still true. The only way you can get blue essence in League of Legends is through the battle pass. And the changes that they're going to make, which we'll get into now, I guess, is this. Well, is this repeatable, the repeatable track. So the repeatable track, the battle pass ends at 50. And what would happen is, originally, this was battle pass currency, and it was a very low amount of battle pass currency. So you could get, like, in my experience with buying the battle passes in the past, is you would get, like, the prestige skin that you wanted, or the Hextech gems that you wanted, and then you'd get, like, through the repeatables, you'd get, like, a chroma, or, like, a border, or, like, an icon that you wanted, right? And then that would be it. Now, with this is the most disgusting thing I've ever seen in my life. Because not only are the repeatables, like, difficult to get to, right? Like, you have to get through 50 levels in the battle pass in order to get to the repeatables. But this is the only way that you get blue essence. This is the only way that you get consistent blue essence throughout the game. Because you do get blue essence in the battle pass, right? But that's a one-time reward. This is the only way to grind blue essence in League of Legends. This is the only way to buy champions for a new player in League of Legends, is to do the battle pass. And that's it. That's the only way. That's the only way. And by the way, this is not like a Fortnite battle pass where you buy it once and it gives you enough riot points to keep buying every battle pass in succession. That's not what this is. This is orange essence. This is not riot points. So you have to buy, which this is like, you know, like $15 in USD or whatever, right? You have to buy this with real money every act, I guess. And the rewards have gotten way shittier. They've gotten objectively worse, because where's the prestige skin, right? Where's the prestige skin? It's right at the end here, I'm pretty sure. So here's the thing. It used to be that, so let's say you're a Katarina player, okay? You're eating good. You buy the battle pass, you get prestige Mask of the Black Rose Katarina. Cool. But what if you don't like Katarina? Well, in an old battle pass, you could turn all of your major battle pass currency, because how it used to work is you'd get, like, bundles of battle pass currency, and when you got to the final point in the battle pass, you would get the last amount of currency that you needed to either buy the prestige skin or the Hextech gems. And the Hextech gems, or like the mythic gems or whatever, are used for this shit, right? And this is like a rotating shop that blah, 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 blah. So if you didn't want it's now called mythic essence, but they were like gemstones back in the day, right? and it used to be 10 gemstones for a skin, but they changed how you get them, so it's like not that bad. Like 100 is now analogous to like 10, right? And then they bumped up the price of the Hextech skins by 25 for whatever reason. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Let's go with this video, right? So you could used to either buy like 125 mythic essence or whatever, and then like or you would be able to buy like the prestige Katarina skin, right? So you had a choice. But now you're guaranteed to get prestige of the Black Rose Katarina, right? But what if you don't want this? Well, tough luck. You don't want the battle pass, right? Um and so you'll see that the free track is literally just like emotes and then also like blue essence, right? And I think that's so gross. I think that's so gross because this actually used to be like good, right? The rewards here used to be like something that you would want. But you like it's just bad, man. It's just really, really bad. Like it's really, really bad. Like I can't express to you how bad these battle pass rewards are and how much blue essence and orange essence is bloating this, right? Like there's so many things here that are just like meaningless bloat that don't contribute meaningfully to anything, right? And the fact that this is all that you have, this is the only way to get blue essence, is disgusting. Somebody calculated the time on the current system that it would take to get a champion for a new player, and it was like 886 hours to get a new champion, right? That's how many hours that somebody would have to spend to play this game. 886 hours to get one character. Absolutely ridiculous. Now they are changing the system. They are changing the system to be whatchamacallit, they have they're increasing the blue essence rewards in the battle pass, and I think this is going from like 50 to like 750. But there's a problem with this because obviously this was insane, and if they kept this system, the game would go downhill at like a rapid pace because you have taken literally all of the free rewards people can work for in your game and thrown them in the dumpster. Like this is literally insulting. Taking away champion capsules for level up and taking away glorious champion capsules for level up is like the most batshit insane thing I've ever heard in my life, and it's like absolutely insulting. But they're changing it to where like each track here is like 750 blue essence, which is actually kind of insanely cracked, honestly. However, there's one problem. There's one very, very specific problem about this, okay? That you might have noticed. The only way to farm blue essence for anyone, not just new players, but anyone. The only way to, and also you can't, I don't think you can buy blue essence, can you? You can buy like you used to be able to buy an IP booster and it would give it to your whole team. But like I don't even know if you can buy blue essence. Can you get like a blue essence bundle or something? I don't even know, dude. Like you can get a boost? Unreal. Unreal they're still selling EXP boosts. That's insane. That's insane. It doesn't do it. Okay, it does from like level 1 to 30. Like all the game's functionality is level 1 to level 30. All right, that's all the gameplay stuff that you unlock. This is insane that they're still selling this. This is a scam. If you are level 30 or high, if you are level 30, this is a scam. Like, first of all, this is a scam to begin with, right? But even if you're level 1, this is a scam. You'd never want to buy something like this. But if you're over level 30, this is literally a scam. This needs to be removed. This needs to legitimately be removed from the game. This doesn't do anything. This literally does nothing. Like, is this is an EXP boost? Increase your EXP for 30 days? Does this work on the battle pass? This has to work on the battle pass, right? This has to work on, I'm actually freaking out. This is genuinely insane. This has to work on the battle pass. I need to now battle pass EXP is BXP. This says EXP, right? This says EXP. XP, please. Okay. Does League of Legends EXP boost work on the battle pass? It has to, right? It has to. How does EXP boost work? It gives you a 216 EXP extra every game. Oh, it's just. Oh no no no. Oh no, it's account. Oh, okay, all right. They need to, if they keep this in the game, they have to change it to Battle Pass EXP. They have to. But anyways, I'm gonna get back on the rail here. It really is worse than I thought it was. Dear God. But okay, so let's get back on track here. The only way to farm Blue Essence for any player is the Battle Pass, right? You have to complete the Battle Pass, which, by the way, the League of Legends Battle Pass is insanely grindy. I have been playing this game quite a bit, and I'm at level 18, right? Like I'm at level 18, and I have played quite a lot of matches. My match history is bad. Please don't judge. New season. Don't judge. I have played. This shows it used to show the last 30 games that you played, but let's see how many games that I played. Like from too many. This is from the 12th. I've played 20 games from the 12th to the 15th. Okay, that's too many games. All right, I've played a lot of games. I've played a lot of games, okay? And I'm only, like, look at how far I am on the Battle Pass, dog. Now, I have the free Battle Pass. You get more, you, in the past, used to get bonus EXP for buying the Battle Pass. I don't know if that's true anymore. But this is perfect, okay? Like, from a free-to-play player's perspective, or somebody who's not interested in buying the Battle Pass, I have played 20 games in the span of 3 days, right? And I am level, and that's not even like, I am not at, I'm at level 18, and the battle pass ends at level 50, and you unlock grindable blue essence at level 50, 51 of the battle pass. Sorry, not level 50, because, level 50 is the Katarina skin that nobody cares, that I don't care about. If you're a Katarina player, you're eating good. If this was a Briar skin, I'd be screaming. Don't worry. I am not immune to propaganda, okay? I was only going to say that nobody cares about that skin because Katarina players have been bullying me recently. All right, moving on. This is a limited time battle pass. It ends in 6 weeks at the time of filming this video. So, what do you think happens when a new player starts playing League of Legends? League of Legends already has an insane, and a mind-boggling amount of a learning curve, right? The learning curve is vertical. Okay? It is an insanely difficult game to learn. It is unfathomably difficult to learn. It is one of the hardest games to learn because it is a competitive PvP game where you basically I don't need to go on. Anybody who's ever tried to play League of Legends knows this. Anybody who has played League of Legends knows this. Anybody who's tried to get friends into League of Legends and failed or succeeded knows how difficult it is to learn League of Legends, right? You have to be brought in by a friend. It's vampirism. You have to be brought in by a friend. You can never play League of Legends alone and learn League of Legends alone unless you have, like, literally, like, a saint amount of patience and you have, like, the best mental game in the world, right? This game asks so much of you to get into it. And they just had a big boom of players because of Arcane Season 2. And they're going to do a Noxus show, right? So let's say that you're a fan of, you watch the Noxus show, and you're like, oh my god, Katarina is so badass, dude. I want to play as Katarina. I want to play as Prestige, Black Mask, Rose Katarina. Too bad, dickhead, idiot, moron. She was in a battle pass before the show even came out. Idiot. So, FOMO there, right? But, really bad FOMO there. But also, they're gonna have a big player boom in the Noxus show. And this is just the most unwelcoming, hostile thing to new players possible. Because look at this. Think about this for a second. If you're a new player and you start playing League of Legends, you're not getting to the level 50 on the Battle Pass, right? You're probably not going to get there. And so that means that you're not going to get the repeatable Blue Essence. Even if it is 750 per track, which would be kind of goated, this is still worse than what it used to be, right? This is still, like, this was worse than the Battle Pass currency that used to literally expire and die if you didn't spend it. This is, like, objectively, like, this is the financially least valuable Battle Pass they've ever done, and it will continue to be like this. even when they increase the blue essence odds. It'll be like such a shitty battle pass to buy. And so when you funny, I don't know what I don't know what this button does. Animation, ugh. But like, I guess just the thing that I'm thinking about, right, is imagine being a new player and you start playing and you get like a champion capsule, right? And then you get like an emote or whatever. And then it's like, ooh, yippee! And then you get like 1,000 blue essence, like, wait, yippee! And then you're like, ooh, if I keep playing, I'm gonna get this champion capsule and I'll be able to get a new champion. Not even a glorious champion capsule. What the hell is wrong with you? But like the shitty champion capsule, right? You're like, if I get to level 22, and then this ends in like 3 days, right? This ends in like 3 days, and then you don't get it, and then the battle pass resets, and then you have to do the grind again. Like, casual players are never going to see this. Even if this reward is great, this could be the greatest reward in the game. Casual players are never going to see this. New players are never going to see this. And that's the part that really bothers me. That's the part that's really crazy. Is like, my friends and I can like play like 20 League of Legends games in the span of 4 days, which is an unhealthy amount of League of Legends, by the way. We can play an ungodly amount of League of Legends in the span of 4 days. And we are rewarded with nothing. We're not working towards anything. We're not getting hex tag chests. We're not getting champions because they took the ability to get champions out of the game and put it on the battle pass. And it's just very sad, you know? It genuinely feels like they, like League of Legends, the Riot, they really do feel like that they just don't really care about the player experience of their game from a monetary perspective, right? Like, the thing is that nobody will ever admit is that League of Legends is a fun game. There's a reason why I play League of Legends as much as I do. It's fun. That's why. But when you look at this, when you look at this, it's just bad. It's just really bad. There's nothing good here at all. Like, oh my god, you're getting a border and an icon. You used to be able to choose what you wanted, and if you didn't want anything from the battle pass, it was still like a good idea to buy. That's the thing that really boggles my mind, is that the battle pass used to offer something for any player, right? Like, if a character that you liked was featured in the battle pass, yippee, wahoo, we buy the battle pass, you get exactly what you want from that, right? But if you didn't want anything from the battle pass, you could still be justified to buy it, because it gave you the mythic essence currency, and you could just hold on to that and then turn it into a skin that you actually wanted. Or you could turn it into like a ward or an emote or something you actually wanted, right? Like, it was something to work towards. And that's what is very sad about what's happened to League of Legends, is that everything is in the service of this gacha. You probably noticed when we were scrolling through the battle pass, you got ancient sparks for free. For free, quote unquote, only on the paid battle pass, by the way. It's so disgusting, because not even like, I don't think I've ever played, like, League of Legends is a gacha game now, all right? But it's like, it's worse. At this point, even with the blue essence changes, so where you're getting a lot of blue essence to the battle pass and the repeatables are now based, even with that, I think it's still, like, embarrassing. I think it's still insulting. I think it's still really bad, because you're not getting anything, like, you're not working towards anything anymore, right? Like, I don't care about the Noxus Act 1, right? Like, I really don't care. Like, I play Elise sometimes. Like, Elise is one of my old mains, and this skin, at least from the animation, the Welcome to Noxus animation, was beautiful and really cool. But this is just like a 975 RP skin? And it's like, I don't know if I would buy that. And it's free, so I'm not gonna have to buy it. It's even on the free track, but like, the only skin here that's worth anything is gonna be the Prestige Katarina. That's it. This is the only skin. And, like, this is the only thing of value in this entire battle pass, and you don't even get orbs anymore, right? Like, it's really, really crazy. It's really, really bad. Like, I hate to say it, but this is probably one of the worst changes I've ever seen in League of Legends history. And I haven't been around for the whole history, but I've been around for a fair chunk of it. I've been playing this game for literally a decade. I started playing in 2015. Don't believe me? 2015, Dread Knight Garen, Riot Girl Tristana. Well, okay, it'll be a year and 6 months, right? But like, I've been playing this game since 2015. And this is probably, like, I lived through the Tank Echo Pentakill meta, alright? I remember that shit, where you'd do, like, thousands of true damage, and you couldn't itemize against him. You just had to, like, if somebody got Echoes, like, alright, he's gonna get, like, a Pentakill, sure. You know, I've played this game a lot, and a lot of these skins that I got, by the way, were for free from the Hextech chess system, because I don't play a lot of these champions. I did buy the Lulu skins, though. Lulu used to be my old main. But like a lot of these skins were either like battle pass skins, or I'd get them from orbs or hextech chests or something, you know. And you know, I've put a fair amount of money into this game. I'm not going to deny that. You're seeing absolute degeneracy in front of your eyes right now. But I don't know. It's just sad. I've been through, like, you can see I've played this game a lot, and I've gotten a lot of these skins for free. And so maybe Riot was justified, but I've also spent some money in this game. But like, I'm not buying, like, and here's the thing. If one of the Noxus battle passes gives us a shitty Briar skin that's like dog shit, yeah, sure, I'll buy the battle pass if it's locked behind the paid track. Sure. Because I'm not immune to propaganda. I like Briar. I buy the Briar skins, right? But it's just sad. I genuinely think like Riot could have done something here that, like, I mean, here's the thing. The systems have been getting worse, right? Like, I gave you the history. I gave you the history in the first half of this video. And it's gotten worse somehow, right? Like, they found out how to make a system that is worse. Like, objectively in every way. And now I'm just rambling. This video has quickly lost the plot and its purpose. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed listening to me ramble about the death of a game that I enjoy. Just because Riot executives are greedy and the line has to go up. It's just so bad, man. Like, I think it's so embarrassing. This is touching on a completely different topic, but like the Radiant skins or whatever, I don't know what they're called. The whatchamacallits, the Transcendent skins are embarrassing. Like, the Transcendent skins are completely embarrassing, right? Because Ultimate skins used to be this thing where it's like they were $30 and they were absolutely insane, right? Elementalist Lux continues to be the best skin that they've ever made in the game, right? 10 elemental forms. You can like combine elemental form, not like there's not like a 10 distinct elemental forms after you know, combine them, right? Because it's like you choose earth, air, fire, and water, and then you start out as light, and then you change into one of those skins if you want to, and then you can pick another one to fuse. So it's like you can combine like fire and earth to create magma Lux, right? This is the best skin that they've ever made. If you want to see like actual art and like they actually give a damn about skins, look at an Elementalist Lux showcase. There is like, I think Skin Spotlights literally has a playlist on YouTube dedicated to Elementalist Lux because there's so many details, voice lines, ability effects, different models, animations, it's all visual effects. It's beautiful. It's the best skin that they've ever made. And all of the ultimate skins have kind of been downhill, but they all had fun gimmicks, right? Like DJ Sana has music that she plays, and your teammates can tune into DJ Sana radio, right? Or like Gun Goddess Misfortune has her own theme song, and you can switch between 4 different guns, right? And then like Spirit Guard Udyr has like unique animations for every single stance, right? Because Udyr changes between like, you know, bear, turtle, tiger, whatever stance. A phoenix stance? Yeah. And it like completely changes all of his animations, right? Like these skins are like actual art, right? Like this is like Riot gave a damn, and people loved ultimate skins. But Riot kept saying, we can't make ultimate skins because if we made more ultimate skins, it would crash the game. It would negatively affect game performance. We can't do it. And they kept their word because there is nothing that looks better than an ultimate skin. And even though these are the $30 tier, and they are now the third most expensive kind of skin. I think exalted skins are like the dumbass like $300 chromas or whatever, or is this the faker skin that's like $500? I think this is the $500 faker skin. And then the transcendent skins. Actually, wait, am I getting these mixed up? What is set? What is set? Is he a radiant? Okay, he's a Radiant. So sorry, Exalted is the $500 Faker skin, and Radiant are the $200 Jinx and Set skins, right? And so you would think a skin that's $200 or $500 has better quality than, that has better quality than an Ultimate skin, but that's not true. The Ultimate skins, which are $30, look better and were made like, you know, they were made they basically just look way better, right? Like they look way better, they're higher quality, and no skin will ever match Elementalist Lux. It is literally the best skin in the game. But like from an objective quality standpoint. And the exalted skins are like the exalted $200 set skin that you saw every single time I go to loot. It looks worse than all four of these. It looks worse than every ultimate skin. It objectively does. It has less visual fidelity. It has less effort. It has less work put into it than a single ultimate skin. And it's $200 versus 30. Absolutely a ridiculous joke. And the faker skin is like, the $500 faker Ari skin is like you get Faker's signature, right? So whatever. It's like a piece of T1 fan merchandise. It should have been like a $1,000 statue or whatever that you bought, like an IRL statue of like Ari Faker, and then it came with a code for that skin or something. But anyways, make it like actual merchandise, instead of like just digital garbage. But yeah, no, thanks for listening to me rant. I hope it was fun. I hope you enjoyed it. Stay safe out there. Have a good one. And, don't play League of Legends. If you're a new player, do not play League of Legends. Riot doesn't want you to play. Riot doesn't want you to play. They've made this game completely inaccessible for new people. They have locked the doors. They have said, we have our player base. We're gonna milk this player base until the player base dies. Like, that's the only thing I can think of. That's literally the only thing I can think of. Like, the predatory gacha monetization, removing every single free aspect of the game to where you have to pay money if you want anything. Utterly ridiculous. Putting everything behind a battle pass for, like, basic things that we would expect from just playing the game normally, and then putting the previous battle pass rewards under a goddamn gacha system. Absolutely a joke. Imagine trying to get imagine being a huge set fan and then you roll the 0.5% chance and you get mythic essence. What a joke. Also, if you get these chromas, you don't get the skin, by the way. I'm like 99% sure, because that's how it works with all the other chromas. You get the chroma, you don't get to use the skin. Absolutely a joke. Absolutely. And by the way, this shit's dog shit. Like, all this stuff sucks. Like all these B tier rewards was like 90% of the time. All this shit is awful. Like, literal dog shit. Absolutely abysmal. And this shit sucks too. Like, yeah, if you don't like the Mythmaker skins. Anyways, ignore the gacha, thank you. Yeah, no, game sucks, don't play it. It's really, really fun, but basically impossible to learn unless a friend gets you into it, and at this point, if you wanted to get into League of Legends, you're gonna have to spend money. We didn't even talk about the reason why it was bad that you couldn't buy champions. It's bad that you can't buy champions, because how the hell are you supposed to find your main? There's over 160 of these fuckers. Like, if you're a Lissandra main, how the hell are you ever gonna know that? She's like 4,800 blue essence, right? How the hell are you gonna know you're a Lissandra main? Without playing the game, without playing the champions, right? Like, Dota 2, I do actually genuinely believe that Dota 2 has issues with having all the champions free to play. I think it's better than what League of Legends does, but it is definitely decision paralysis, right? Absolutely. But here's the thing. In Dota 2, you can experiment until you find the character that you want. in League of Legends, you have to play like random free to play champions and then tell your friend what you like playing, and then they'll randomly say like, "Oh, I think you might like Vex and Gwen," and then you pick up Gwen, and then you're like, "Oh, Gwen sucks," and then you randomly try Vex, and you're like, "Oh, hey, Webb was right the whole time. I did like Vex." But like you'd never find like how the hell are you supposed to be like, I like if you play League of Legends and you're like, okay, my favorite character. Like if you played all the characters and you found your favorite character, you would be like a Malzahar main, right? You would be like, oh, Malzahar is my boy. He's my favorite guy. I love Malzahar. But how the hell are you ever gonna play Malzahar, right? Like how the hell are you ever gonna? He's like 4,800 blue essence, right? Like what are you gonna do, right? Like that's the thing. Is how do you find a champion that you want in League of Legends without being able to buy them, without being able to spend your blue essence to buy them? And so putting the blue essence behind the battle pass means that you're never going to get blue essence and it's going to take forever to get champions. And so imagine you're like, okay, I really like Azir's design. He's a really cool bird guy. He's like a really cool golden bird guy. He summons sand soldiers. He's really cool. So you save up the 6,300 blue essence or however much he's worth, because he's a pretty complicated to play champion, so he should be pretty expensive. But like you save up like the 4,800 blue essence that he's worth, right? And then you buy him. And then you find out like, oh, Azir is like one of the most difficult champions to play in the game. And he's like purposely kept at like a poor win rate because he's like a god in pro play, right? So he has to be dog shit. And so you find you get Azir and you end up hating him. And then it's like, well, all that blue essence down the drain. No way to refund champions, no way to try them out. It's an absolute joke. Like you can't even rent a champion for free for like one game. Right? Like champions aren't even free in like AI versus bots. It's a joke. And so how the hell are you supposed to like develop your champion pool? How the hell are you supposed to find out champions that you want to play, right? You could be somebody who loves playing a tank in like an MMO and you're like, "Oh, I love Cassante." And then you can play like a tank in League of Legends and be like, "Oh, I hate playing tank." Right? You might actually like playing like a bruiser or like an assassin or a support, you know? Like how do you know? Because you don't have any room to experiment and you're not generating blue essence unless you're leveling up the battle pass. And what if you start playing and you're a new player and the battle pass is about to end? Get owned, idiot. Anyways, I seriously need to cut this video off. I will yap forever. I will literally yap forever. And by the way, this dog shit up here, this mastery set, which is like it picks champions that you play and then it randomly assigns champions they think that you'd like playing, is abysmal, especially for new players, because it's bad for me, right? I don't like Jarvan. I've played Jarvan before. I don't like him. I've never played Aatrox before. I have no interest in playing Aatrox. And then it gives me Lee Sin. I hate Lee Sin. I hate playing Lee Sin. I hate playing Jarvan. And yet it gave both of them to me, right? It doesn't know. Right? It's bad. I don't want to play Aatrox. I don't want to play Jarvan. I don't want to play Lee Sin. And yet it's recommending that I do that for Battle Pass EXP. Whoa. It's such a dog shit system. Like, at least I like playing most of these characters. Like, I like Nautilus, I like Skarner, I like Lux, I like Lilia, I like Rammus, I like Amumu. But also, you can just kind of get screwed because it's like, what if you don't even own these champions? Or what if it gives you champions that you don't like? Or it gives you, like, it's such a bad system. And also, it doesn't give you anything anymore, so it doesn't matter. It gives you Battle Pass EXP, which I guess is what they want. Anyways, I will literally yap about this for 80 years, so don't mind me. Stay safe out there. Have a good one. Bye.